It's the
Faerie Smut Book Club!
Faerie Smut Book Club, oh yeah. Faerie Smut Book Club, oh yeah.
Here we go. I winnowed to a nearby rooftop, an ash arrow clenched in either hand, scanning where the adder was high above, flapping. Feyre! I slammed a mental shield of adamant up against that voice, against him. Not now, not this moment. I could vaguely feel him pounding against that shield, roaring at it, but even he could not get in. The adder was mine, in the distance rushing towards me, toward Valeris. A mighty darkness devoured the world. Soldiers in its path did not emerge again. My mate, death incarnate. Night triumphant. I spotted the adder again, veering toward the sea, towards Highburn, still over the city. I winnowed, throwing my awareness toward it like a net, spearing my mind, using the tether like a rope, leading me through time and distance and wind. I latched onto the oily smear of its malice, pinpointing my being, my focus on the core of it, a beacon of corruption and filth. When I emerged from wind and shadow, I was right atop the adder. It shrieked, wings curving as I slammed into it, as I plunged those poison ash arrows through each wing, right through the main muscle. The adder arched in pain, its forked tongue cleaving the air between us. The city was a blur below, the Sidra a mere stream from the height. In the span of a heartbeat, I wrapped myself around the adder. I became a living flame that burned everywhere I touched, became unbreakable as the adamant wall inside my mind. Shrieking, the adder thrashed against me, but its wings, with those arrows, with my grip, free fall. Down into the world, into blood and pain, the wind tore at us. The adder could not break free of my flaming grasp, or from my poisoned arrows screwing its wings, laming him. Its burning skin stung my nose. As we fell, my dagger found its way into my hand. The darkness consuming the horizon shot closer as if spotting me. Not yet, not yet. I angled my dagger over the adder's bony, elongated rib cage. This is for Rhys, I hissed in its pointed ear. The reverberation of steel on bone barked into my hand. Silvery blood warmed my fingers. The adder screamed. I yanked out my dagger, blood flying up, splattering my face. This is for Claire! I plunged my blade in again, twisting. Building took form. The Sidra ran red, but the sky was empty, free of soldiers. So were the streets. The adder was screaming and hissing, cursing and begging as I ripped free the blade. I could make out people, make out their shapes. The ground swelled up to meet us. The adder was bucking so violently. It was all I could do to keep it in my forge-hot grip. Burning skin ripped away, carried above us. And this, I breathe, leaning close to say the words into his ear, into his rotted soul. I slid my dagger in a third time, relishing the splintering of bones and flesh. This is for me. I could count the cobblestones, see death beckoning with open arms. I kept my mouth beside its ear, close as a lover. As our reflection in a pool of blood became clear, I'll see you in hell, I whispered, and left my blade in its side. Wind rippled the blood upon the cobblestone mere inches away, and I winnowed out, leaving the adder behind. I heard the clack and splatter even as I shifted through the world, propelled by my own power and the velocity of my plummet. I emerged a few feet away, my body taking longer than my mind to catch up. My feet and legs gave out, and I rocked back into the wall of a pink-painted building behind me. So hard the plaster dented the crack against my spine, my shoulders. I panted, trembling, and on the streets ahead, what lay broken and oozing on the cobblestone, the adder's wings were a twisted ruin. Beyond that, scraps of armor, splintered bone, and burned flesh were all that remained. The wave of darkness, reason's power, at last hit my side of the river. No one cried out at the star-flecked cascade of night that cut off all light. I thought I heard vague grunting and scraping as if it had sought out hidden soldiers lingering in the rainbow, but then the wave vanished. Sunlight. A crunch of boots before me, the beaten whisper of mighty wings, a hand on my face, tilting up my chin as I stared and stared at the splattered ruin of the adder. Violet eyes met mine. Rhys was here. And I had, he leaned forward, his brows sweat-coated, his breathing uneven. He gently pressed a kiss to my mouth to remind us both who we were, what we were. My icy heart thawed, the fire in my gut was soothed by a tendril of dark, and the water trickled out of my veins and back into the sidra. Rhys pulled back, his thumb stroking my cheek. People were weeping, keening, but no more screams of terror, no more bloodshed and destruction. My mate murmured, Feyre, Cursebreaker, the defender of the rainbow. I slid my arms around his waist and sobbed, and even as his city wailed, the High Lord of the Night Court held me until I could at last face this blood-drenched new world. Dun, dun, dun. Hi, Bianca.
Hi, Steph.
Oh, I'm so excited for today. We're starting a brand new book in the series of A Court of Thorn and Roses.
That's right. A Court of Mist and Fury.
This book is jam-packed.
Yeah.
And it's broken into 3 main parts. So for this episode, we're going to kind of go through just kind of what happens in the story overall, things we like, highlights. And so let's dig in.
Highlights
Ready?
and High Lords.
Highlights and High Lords. Absolutely. A Court of Mist and Fury is where we're starting today. First, we're in Parinthia. I love to look at the maps. And sometimes I feel like the maps are not strong in the books.
Yeah.
They could use color.
Yeah. This is a fan rendering, right?
Oh, fan rendering, yes.
Yeah. And then it's Prithian, right?
Prithian, great. Prithian, yeah.
I like Printhia though as like
Printhia. It's me, Printhia.
It's
That's
me,
how
Printhia.
Elaine says it.
Yeah.
Printhia.
She's like, I got taken to Printhia and I didn't want to.
I love Printhia. So we love Printhia. Right now I'm just showing where everything's taking place. So for this one, we're going to see a lot in the Night Court.
Mm-hmm.
We're also going to see some of the Spring Court, the Wall. And you know what I forgot? We go to the Summer Court.
That's right. We do go to the Summer Court.
Not Circle. We go to the Summer Court in this book. So we really start to see what Prithian has to offer. Okay, so the first part of the book is part 1, which is the House of Beasts. We're back. We are with Tamlin again.
We're back with freaking Tamlin.
We had this moment at the end of the other book where Rhys like freaks out and says goodbye.
Right.
We go back. And we see Feyre back in the Spring Court.
Yeah.
So when we see her, she's just ended winter solstice season.
Mm-hmm.
She's engaged to Tamlin. She's turned 20. I believe she says she weeps with joy when Tamlin proposed to her.
Yeah, she sure did. She's also like a shell of her former self.
Yeah.
She hasn't really been able to acknowledge that yet, but yeah.
Yeah. Things are tight, are tough there. Then this is also in this part, Rhys crashes the wedding and takes her. He cashes in on that bargain. We also see the Spring Tithe where she makes friends with the water wraiths for the first time. And then our girl, she also has this moment where Tamlin has a few temper tantrums, to say the least.
Scary.
And there's one where she covers herself in night. It's not time for her to go see Rhys. It's not her week to go see him. And so Moore comes to the rescue.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. And then takes her to Valeris forever.
I know.
So I'd love to just talk about some of our favorite parts of this kind of first part of the book. What stands out to us? What are some of our highlights? Some of our highlights in this
yeah.
stage.
So in this book, we also meet Ianthe.
Mm-hmm.
And Ianthe is so obnoxious. We get some like hints, like Lucian doesn't like being around her.
Mm-hmm.
So that is some foreshadowing of what we learn later about her, which is that she's a freak. She really doesn't care whether or not her partners are all that interested in being with her. She's pretty pushy.
She's super ambitious. She's sort of almost like vicariously living probably what she would want to do as Tamlin's lady.
Right.
She's
if
kind
she
of
was
living that. Yeah.
If she was with Tamlin. She's also using her like wiles to sneak Highburn into the spring court. We find that out later in part 3, but some of what is set up is just how much influence Ianthe has.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting to me, that she would have so much influence, but he won't let Feyre do anything for herself, really. Like, he just wants her to be this like trophy. And you see a lot of like there's some tropes that we see play out, I feel like, between like with Tamlin and Feyre's relationship. When you see an abusive relationship in literature and movies, there's kind of these like same tropes, like very controlling on when, where, what you do when you leave the house, throwing these like temper tantrums where like he doesn't hurt her, but he is definitely showing his power in an intimidating way, so that she feels like she has to tiptoe around so that she doesn't trigger his temper.
It's like, don't make dad mad energy.
Don't make dad mad energy. Yeah, no, 100%. That's exactly what it is.
Dad's home. He's off from like doing whatever. He won't tell us what he's doing. We don't know what his job is, but he's coming back.
I have no idea what dad does during the day, but he's so mad when he comes home.
That is Tamlin's energy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And like, if you don't get him his soda the way he wants it and at the timely fashion,
he's throwing that glass against a wall.
He is.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because the ice is already melted and he wanted it perfect.
Yeah.
Totally. I feel like I really identified with Feyre in this book. In general, just like that, leaving a relationship that you feel like trapped in, you can't see like another reality where you're not stuck there. And she really talks about feeling stuck.
She should. I mean, the only other High Lords or possible out, she doesn't know what her other out is. It's Rhys, and at this point she's like,
she's terrified of him. Yeah,
he's basically forcing me to go see him once a week. Yeah,
right. Though interestingly, there was that 3-month period before the wedding where Rhys hadn't called in the bargain at all, and we learned that he was going to just kind of let go and not call it in, but she called for help during the wedding.
And she's screaming on the bond. The other thing, like, I think she's begging for in this is Tamlin is not someone who's dealing with his rage ever, or like dealing with his own trauma ever. Right. And Rhys ends up being reflective and aware enough that he's kind of doing that the same way. And they're sort of, I don't know, they have a similar, or I don't know, it seems sort of they have a similar reaction to what happened to them under the mountain, where she's like vomiting, can't control her dreams. Yeah. He's also having this experience, and she doesn't know that yet, but
they both have this like crazy PTSD going on.
Yeah.
And Tamlin is so like disconnected from himself and his feelings and his court that he is like, he's losing himself and he can't find a way out. So I think it's like, I feel like Feyre wants to give Tamlin maybe the benefit of the doubt because he's her High Lord, whatever, all that BS. But I, like in the way that like dad's mad, like dad comes home mad, and I see that in my own family where like dad doesn't ever talk about what he's upset about, but my mom is always like, well, you have to understand, he's got this going on at work, he's got this, that, and the other. So it's like all these excuses being made, but nobody is helping that person actually evolve or change or deal with any other problems.
Mom's always doing the work.
And I think Lucien for so long has been doing that emotional work for him.
Yeah.
And Lucien is always the one that's going to Feyre and being like, no, he's just like so worried about you. Like, don't be mad. Like, don't press him right now. He's like so stressed. And she's like, I'm dying, Yeah.
That's how I felt. I kind of compared him to a self-aware Lenny, like from Mice and Men. He's like, she's the mouse he's trying to squeeze. Like, you mean everything to me. You're so precious.
Yes.
But he doesn't realize like she's been fortified by rock and steel, and she has all the powers of all the High Lords, and he doesn't want her to realize the power because he's afraid she'll lose her. He doesn't want her to realize she's like a fire drake. She's
right. Like she doesn't want mouse. He wants to keep her like under his thumb so that she can't move on to anything bigger and better.
Okay. So yeah, that's right. forget that. That brings us to part 2, the House of Wind. She gets rescued by Mor, takes her to what begins one of the longest narrative arcs maybe in the whole series, which is part 2, the House of Wind. We're in this for a long time. We meet a ton of new characters. We go to new locations we haven't seen yet. We have some fun dinners. We have meetings. So we go to the townhouse. We meet the inner circle. That's exciting in this one. Then we go to the prison twice. We make 2 trips.
Yeah, 2 trips to the prison.
We meet our Weaver. Then we go see the sisters and we meet the team. The sisters meet the team, which really, they meet Cassian and Ezreal. And
right.
We'll talk a little bit about some of the side characters, but basically the Bone Carver can like see, turns into anything. It's a shapeshifter.
So, and this is huge foreshadowing for later in the series.
Yes.
Because each person sees something different, right?
Yeah.
So Rhys says that he sees her as
Jurian.
Yeah, so that's right. And Feyre sees a young boy
that happens to look like the 2 of them.
That kind of looks like the 2 of them, but she doesn't say that out and out. She tiptoes around it. Sees like an 8-year-old boy with beautiful violet eyes and dark hair. Who could he be?
I don't know. That's right. And then, so the Bone Carver comes in quite a bit here. And he's also happens to be, we don't know this at the time, but is the brother of the Weaver. And the Weaver we meet, who freaks me out, but I love her. Yeah. She's like a classic, like, fairy tale.
Yeah.
Lives in this, you know, what do we call it?
And like a witch's cabin.
Yeah, cabin.
There's really no other. I'm picturing like so many little vials and pots and glassware and little like carved figurines and jars full of eyeballs and feathers and jewels, tons of little trinkets and jewels.
Ooh. And the house is made out of hair, bone, skin.
Yeah, it is her cabin. She has woven it from skin and hair, and the roof is thatched with fat, with human fat.
Oh, human fat, because she smells it, right?
Yeah. And hair.
Yes. Ugh, gross.
And she hears the screams of like the people whose flesh it belonged to, right? Am I making that up?
No.
There's like screaming when she starts to burn it, and it's not just the Weaver that's like, my house.
Yeah.
It's also like
let's back up. Let's talk about that a little bit. Like, so the Weaver keeps trinkets and things in her house, and she can like lock the house down and trap someone inside it. That's one of her traits. And Feyre's sent in there to steal the ring that we later find out is her engagement ring from Rhys, because why not? Yep.
He sends her on a quest.
We have this, like, I will say, like, I feel like all of the books have some sort of like mom moment, and I mean like all of the fairy smut genre, there's some sort of like revealing these are my mother's clothes that she had made for you, or these my mom would have loved you, and they sort of have that moment, and we learn that his mother was like, your significant other will be able to retrieve this ring.
Yeah, they have to be strong enough to be able to sneak past the Weaver or evade capture if the Weaver catches. Like, I mean, Rhys's mom knows. She knows what a handful it's going to be her High Lord son's partner, right? So she's like, listen, you have to prove that you're worthy of my son and of being his equal. It's very interesting. It's also very like Disney coded. The mom always dies, like Bambi, you know, like the mom dies in the first act, Finding Nemo. Like there's a lot of it's a common trope of like,
and Sarah J. Maas is like, not only is it mom, but also his little sister.
Yeah, the women, that's the thing. It's like there's this theory of like fridging women in fiction and movies. It's like mostly a comic book thing, and the origin of it, and please tell me what it's from, but I forget exactly the origin, but basically it's like the inciting incident to make the main character like fight for justice is like opening a fridge and it's full of his chopped up girlfriend. Ooh. Like, and I forget exactly what that's from, but they also use it in like The Crow, this movie that came out in the 90s. It's a very popular,
like The Boys, that new show on Amazon came out, like the girlfriend
Oh.
like gets ran through by a speeding. She gets obliterated by like a very fast
A blood
superhero.
mist. Oh yes, the beginning of the boys.
That's
yeah,
the boys. Yeah, that's what kicks off the boys.
That's right.
Yeah,
okay. Yes. Yeah. Blood mist. We hear about blood mist in here as well.
Blood mist.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna start calling my period. My blood mist.
Don't come in here. I'm misting.
The other thing I wanted to say about kind of zooming out from the Weaver is one thing that I would love to hear your thoughts on is I feel like sometimes the lovers in these stories have to like go through a series of trials that only their mate would be able to do. And I'm like, ugh. I don't know. I have to prove myself, even though he feels so unworthy to have me. Like, I already defeated a worm. I gave you my life. I died.
Yeah, I died and came back to life. I mean, that I think speaks to the fantasy element of it for sure. There's like these quests to win love. And I guess that is like, you equate that to like grand gestures or like, your boyfriend's really good with your toxic family. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like,
what if she didn't get the ring? Like this story's over?
Well, she wouldn't have been the one. You know what I mean? The story, and we wouldn't have a story.
You know, going in, she's gonna get the ring, right?
Because
if she doesn't, where are all these other pages?
Are we doing these other 700 pages? Are you kidding me? Totally. Yeah, like it's so early in the book. You're like, well, she has to get the ring. Sometimes I will do that with a series where I'm like, there's so much book left. There's no way they die doing this.
Yeah, like
so I'm like, okay, I know we've got
push through.
Yeah.
Push through.
Yeah.
I love to. Let's touch a little bit on the meeting. When we meet the sisters, when the Cassian and Azriel meet the sisters, they go to warn them, hey, they're trying to take down the wall. That's one of the big plot points of this.
Yeah.
That Hybern and Tamlin are sort of like these
looming
threats on their shoulders this whole book. And Tamlin's like trying to get her back in the weirdest, most stalker way possible. Hybern is like, we're gonna take down this wall, and they can feel them starting to like garner
Mr.
their power.
Gorbachev, bring down the wall. We didn't start the fire. It was Hybern, and we knew it all along.
We didn't start the fire. There was a treaty. There was a treaty. No one remembers signing. So they want to bring down this wall because Hybern just wants to take over everything. More land, more whatever. Take down everyone's...
Crush the
humans. They go to warn the girls and say, hey, let's get the queens here. We want to get the human realm queens.
Right, because they want the other half of the Book of Breathings so they can figure out how to... They've learned through, I think, Azriel that they want to try to bring back Jurian. And so that's also one of the things that they asked the Bone Carver is it possible to bring somebody back if all that's left is an eyeball and a finger? Because wouldn't you know it, we know a guy. We know a guy, and all that's left of him is a ring that's his eyeball and a finger. And so they think that the King of Hybern needs the Book of Breathings, which is the book that they go to
the summer court
to get the Fae half of, and the queens have the human half of the book. And they need to have them together so they can break the cauldron so that Jurian can't be brought back.
Right, exactly. Yep. And they pretty much explain that to the sisters, that they either need to like warn the people or get out of Dodge. We want to hold the meeting here so the queens feel safe. And that's met with mixed reviews by the sisters.
Yeah.
Ness is like, hell no. And Elaine's like, well, even though I'm engaged to Grayson, the hating fairy guy.
Yeah. Ugh. Grayson sucks. And Grayson's family sucks. So that's right. So Feyre shows up and she's like, oh, cool. My sister has an iron ring, even though I told her iron doesn't do shit against fairies. And she's marrying this bigot of a human. Awesome. And Nesta's like, I don't want you in my house.
And Nesta's like, well, at least he doesn't hit her.
True, yeah. Listen, he doesn't hit her and he has like as much money as us. And isn't that all you want? Someone who doesn't hit you and has at least as much money as you. Get it? Come on, Feyre. She can't do better.
So the other thing that happens during this is Rhys is really courting Feyre during it, like
Yeah.
really trying to win her over. I mean, he teaches her how to read during some point during this with like notes about how hot and awesome he is.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, dude.
I like their sexting a little bit.
They're sexting. I'm like, they can
They
read
get
each
to it
other's
eventually.
minds, but why
But
are there
they're writing these
notes?
Yeah, well, it's because she's been shielding. He
She-
can't get back. He can't get past these adamant walls, so they have to leave each other little notes.
It's so funny.
Is that something you ever did with a partner?
Ooh, good
It's like
question.
leaving little notes.
No.
I had an ex who saved
Oh.
all of the notes that his ex-girlfriend used to, and I found them in his apartment, and I was like,
love
"What's
that.
this?" And he was like, "It was just me and Dallas. We used to leave these notes for each other." Like he was like, like wistful about it, and I was like, "Okay."
And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this is my own cynicism, but it feels very like their kind of love is feeling like very high school and very like
Well,
like
she's
you have
20.
she's 20. Yeah, that's right. He's 500, she's 20, so he's just meeting her where she's at.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, dumb human. How do I trick her into learning how to read? Obviously, I'm very hot, so
Yeah.
she's gonna want to interact with me.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's always their attitude. They're so good looking. He takes her out on a group date. We'll dive into that later, but I love kind of like that's what I mean is they don't go out on a date. They go out on a group date. It's like second group date.
Yeah. Well, he wants her to feel safe. He also
That's
knows
true.
she's not over Tamlin yet, and that she's still like grappling with it because a lot of through this section we hear a lot of her inner thoughts of calling herself a traitor and a liar, and so she's like in a place where she's not even able to think about Rhys without feeling like shit for doing it.
Yeah.
Which like I think most
She was
people have
about
felt
to
that.
marry that guy.
Yeah.
So,
I think we've all felt that where
like,
it's like you kind of feel like you're cheating on your ex by moving
Ugh.
on.
give it some time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
just like give it some time mode. And then yes, we take our trip to the summer court where she spends a lot of time flirting with Tarquin, who we end up really liking. Like paints a nice picture of him.
He's got turquoise eyes.
They go to Steel, but that's where we have some of our famous lines of like to the stars. That's where they're jealous of how each other's acting around.
Yeah.
You know, they're pretending, but they're getting jealous. She gives him that smile.
Yeah,
And he rages.
yeah, he's like, you smiled for Tarquin, but you haven't smiled for me once. Yeah, and I'm like, what's going on with this smile? That it's like bringing men, high lords to their knees.
It's like the face that launched 1,000 ships, right?
Yeah.
Like she's the
She's
Helen. Yeah. So that I love it. That is where the other thing I love about that part is that she has throughout of this the kind of the foundational relationship she's making are with Mor and Amren.
Yeah.
So like Mor's her first girl, you know, they're buds, and she's kind of showing her the ropes, and she also shares, you know, about her backstory deeply with her. And then Amren, you know, offers her the amulet that's kind of like her liquid luck to go into the prison.
And it's definitely and it's a fake out. Like she just needed to believe in herself. Yeah.
And then Amren and her survive the water wraiths together underneath or out in the ocean.
And they're saved by the wraith that Feyre saved from the tithe, or that she helped her pay the tithe. So my debt is paid.
Yes. And I also have to say, Tarquin is a hottie. Okay.
Is that him peeking over
That
the
is
book?
one of the, yes, this is Tarquin. He's got white hair, beautiful black skin, turquoise blue eyes. He's the youngest.
He says, I'm a young high lord, only 80. Which, I mean, if the guy visiting you is 500 years old and you're 80, you're like 25 and the guy's 125. Yeah. And Feyre's 20. And in love with him.
Yeah. And then if those ages were any different, it would be problematic.
Yeah, if she were 17, forget it. None of us would read this. No. But she's an adult.
The other big, I mean, we're still in part 2, the House of Wind. We meet with the queens. We go to the Court of Nightmares where Rhys basically like fingers her under the mountain.
Listen, I love that scene.
I do too.
Okay,
it's so hot, but they're pretending.
Okay, there's something that I really love. It's a trope of these types of books, but it's like we're pretending to be like sexually attracted to each other, even though we actually are, and we have to like flirt and like play at being really close, and like there's always it's that forced proximity kind of thing. Ugh,
That's
but I
something the
love
youngness
it.
to it to me too. Like when you're like in high school and like you don't want other people to know you like the person you like and you
Yeah.
like each other and you're doing it kind of like
Oh yeah.
out of like
Yeah,
secretly, and
Yeah.
then in person you're pretending like not to know each other.
Exactly. Yeah, but then if you're like by yourself, I remember in my head I would have this like countdown of like, okay, how long before we can touch hands? Even though we're by ourselves and it's like there's nothing stopping us.
Right.
Like in my head I was like, okay, probably like 5. Like you have to let like 20 minutes pass and then you can maybe brush hands. And then
20 minutes for a hand brush.
listen, I was so Catholic.
That is the other thing we have to say is like so Catholic and Texas.
Yeah.
So evangelical Christian Indiana.
Yeah.
Whenever he like leans into her when they're under the mountain,
Yeah.
he's like, it's natural. Your body's naturally
Yeah. Oh
reacting.
well, because he's
I'm like, that's what I was telling myself on spring break.
this is
Natural.
It's natural. Yeah. Meanwhile, his ramrod is like all the way up her back.
I know, they can always feel their length. They can
Yeah,
always feel the length of him.
The length of him hard and smooth against my back as I pressed into him, writhing to the beat of the
the writhing. Oh gosh, so the Court of Nightmares. What also I wanted to bring up is in this he says a lot like he'll be like, "What do you want, Feyre? What is it that you want? Say it."
Yeah.
I'm like, "You say it too, dude. Say what you want." Yeah,
I know. It's like he's like waiting for that opening for him to know that she'll be okay if he advances on her at all.
Yeah. We also have the beautiful starfall scene where they have that
romantic.
makeup. And the one thing that struck me about the starfall is I can't remember exactly, but he kind of ghosts her for 3 days.
Yeah, they get into a disagreement and she like throws some of the stuff he's confided in her back at him, right? She's like, well, I guess that's why you're alone then, huh? Because you love it. And because you just want to brood and protect everybody. And he's like, ooh, and he runs off, and then they get ready for Starfall. And he's like, no, I'm fine. And then they watch stars fall.
And they dance the night away. And it's the first time like he sort of joins the team and they're all like hanging out again. He always sort of otherizes himself because he feels like he has to sacrifice and he has to do all these things. And she's like, let's go dance with your friends.
Yeah. And he's like, all right.
I guess.
Also, the stars aren't stars. They're souls falling out of the sky, which reminds me of Crescent City. Like the drops of their power that they have to give to like power the city. Like there's no way that those aren't connected.
They also, this is what I was like, I need to just read this book for like the backstories. There's a lot of like when they talk about the couple that have like disappeared, he's like, he has like a legion of fighters with the wings like hunts. And I was like, oh, I'm starting to see archangels. I'm starting to see all these like little of where there might be those threads that you were talking about. Yeah. So I was like, also Lucian after Starfall, he tries to come and like save Feyre take her back. And she's like, dude, I gave you the note. I don't want to come back. I said, I did this on my own free will.
I'm all set.
We also have during this time the attacks, like the aerial attacks on them on their way to the Night Court. And so we know that Hybern's after them. We know Tamlin's chasing them. They go and they train out in the woods. I have to say one of the big moments for me too was the night at the end.
Oh,
where
that's hotter, I think, than chapter 55. And I know that's a big
also,
one.
I couldn't imagine the picture. We've talked about this before, but
this one.
I had to pull up a
looking at that one
photo
too.
because I was like, I need to know how he was like fingering and holding her in the bed in the end. So just so you know, I'm going to give a shout out to Mare Wild. Check out her photo. I think she did right. He's like, from behind.
Like they're both blushing. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that she's got like blush on her face. And she's like, woo.
The night at the end is the first night both of them confess like anything to each other.
Yeah.
And she says, I want fun.
I want fun. And he's like,
okay,
whatever.
I'll
finger the shit out of you. That's cool.
Because this room isn't big enough for
me to bed you properly. And that's also when he was like, I want to have you against a wall.
Wow.
And then later she's like, I want it against the wall until everything falls off. Anecdotally, Andy walked in while I was listening to that making dinner. And he was So he clutched his pearls because they said
Yes.
fucked. He didn't expect that to be. He thought it would be like all romance, and I was like, no, we fucking.
No, they get it on.
They get it on.
I also love, we learn all about Feyre's powers throughout this. One of the big, she has the shape-shifting, she gets her wings, Az starts to train her, Cassian starts to train her to be a fighter. And the other thing is she goes off, Rhys gets shot down with the bloodbane.
The
What is it?
bloodbane ash
Yeah,
arrow.
ash arrows.
Mhm.
And she captures a cereal again. No one can do it, but she can do it a bunch of times. And
That's when she gives him the new coat.
The new coat. Oh, right. That's the new coat. And then we learn that she has the healing power of Dawncourt. And it's her blood. Always the blood.
It's always the blood. So she has to go and feed Rhys on to her blood.
And she's pissed.
And she's like, I'm so mad at you. And she saves him.
Because the cereal's the one, you can tell right before he gets shot down, he's about to be like, yo, you're my mate.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to break it to you, and then he gets shot down. And then she's pissed because the cereal tells her.
Yeah. Yes. When I was reading this, I wrote down a question, which was, how would you feel if your partner hid something huge like that from you? And this whole time you're like, I don't even know if I should have feelings or what.
God, I don't know.
Because, that's the thing about the mating bond and what's so interesting about it. And we see a couple of different ways that it plays out. Like, we see Rhysand being very careful about it and wanting to really make sure that Feyre is ready and that she's okay, because he seems to genuinely love her.
Yeah, he's fine, honest. I think he would die, but he would be fine if she loved someone else.
Yeah,
like, he loves
her enough to let her go and do that.
Mm-hmm.
And Cassian, we see some of the beginnings of him realizing that Nest is his mate, and Mor reacts to it a little bit too. There's a moment between Cassian and Mor when they first meet Nesta where Mor is taken aback a little bit,
because he starts acting like an adult man.
Yeah, he's like, I will protect you, and he pledges to her that he'll I will protect
Give
you,
his
Nesta
life.
Archeron, and your home and your family, and
And he should never do that because it always ends poorly for him. But
I know. Yeah, no, it does not go well for him in this story. But that is the beginnings of it. But again, he's not you're mine.
Right.
And even after she comes out of when they come out of the cauldron, which I know we're going to get more into, I feel like you see the more entitled, shitty version of it with Lucian, where he's like, you're my mate. And she's like, I literally don't know what that means. And I can't deal with it right now because something incredibly traumatic has happened to me and my body is no longer mine. And now you're saying I belong to you. Lucian's an idiot.
Yeah, he really is.
Just inside thoughts. Just keep it up here for later.
Yeah, that's so actually that's really great because we're watching it kind of unfold both ways, where we're watching one person who knows from the beginning, and then we're watching they kind of know, but they're not quite sure, and they're getting some space to realize it on their own. I think it is. I think I wouldn't want to find out from someone else. I think when they're getting to the precipice of I do have feelings for you, and I'm wrestling with them. If you know I'm your mate, at this point, I've got all the knowledge, just say it.
Just tell me.
Yeah, just tell me.
Because I feel crazy having these feelings. And then she's even well, it's just what our bodies do. It was just a release. She's telling herself in the summer court when he's flirting with Tarquin's sister.
Yeah.
I forget what her name is. But when he's flirting with her and she's like, he deserves that. They both do. And she's like, I guess I'll die alone.
Yeah. She's like, I want him to be happy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really, I hadn't thought of that way before, but that,
we're seeing these different types of
ways,
bonds.
Mating bonds. Yeah. That is the, you made me think of something else, but it has escaped me. We do see, so she heals him and then we go to the cabin. Okay, so that takes us to the third part of this. And I won't go too crazy, but chapter 55, I have it throbbing on the screen here.
And
because
you should.
Chapter 55, we all know, we love it. We're all reading it to get to it. They finally have sex and they do it, in the paint.
They do it paint style. They do it cabin style.
That's the other thing.
Table style.
They do. That's the other thing Sarah J. Maas does really well. We start to see Feyre come out of this as she starts to realize she wants to paint things. She sees Cassian and is like, I'll paint that. She tells Rhys, I want to paint you.
And then she's like, the inner monologue is like, I want to paint again.
And so she paints that whole freaking cabin.
Yeah, which, what a move. Like,
Freaking pissed. My beautiful mountain cabin is
that belonged to my mother. My mother. And you're coming in
We
here
grew up
doing your
here.
little, yeah, we grew up here. This is my childhood home. And you're coming in here with your little Mondo paints from Target doing finger art all over the wall. Like, are you kidding me?
No, I have a recent regret. When I was young, when I was in middle school and high school, I had my youth pastor. He was single at the time, and he let me in one of my other friends' house set, and we're like, we had some leftover neon green paint, and we're like, what if we painted his spare room neon green as a joke when he got back? To this day, I feel really sorry about that, and we did not paint it back. I don't know how long it stayed like that. We left it for him to deal with.
Did he say anything?
Like a ha, but it was not. It took a lot of time.
That's like that show Trading Spaces. Do you remember on TLC where they would decorate the neighbor's house?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Entire blocks were torn apart, I think. But
not a good move, girl. Not a good move. Not a good move.
The folly of youth. And
The folly of
again,
youth.
she's 20. She's
20.
like, everybody loves my paintings. I'm so good at painting. Yes, mama.
Those are some of my favorite like fan creations, or the memes where like Feyre's like just drawing and painting stick figures.
Yeah.
She's like, that's me. Cool. One thing I wanted to say too is something we learn about the Court of Dreams is that the motto of the Court of Dreams is to defend, honor, and cherish. And I was sort of like, if Rhys grew up with just that in his bones his whole life, I was like, oh, this makes sense about who he is.
Yeah, 100%.
They defend, they honor, they cherish. And this was to your point, is I think the Illyrians, you sometimes see Rhys, Cassian, and maybe we'll eventually see Azriel be very possessive in certain moments, like she's mine. But I think that they have been... They've been through their own trauma and raising, that they fight back against that ownership feeling, especially because they all are so supportive of the Illyrian women fighting.
Right. And they were raised by women.
Yeah.
Like Rhys was raised by a single mom, essentially, who took in his two best friends. So there's definitely that. That's, again, goes back to that, like, mother, like it's not even a mother wound, but it's just like their Electra complex almost.
Ooh,
like
I don't know that I love that Electra complex.
Electra complex. That's
Carmen Electra complex.
You turn into Dave Navarro and you are obsessed with tattoos.
Carmen Electra.
And Carmen Electra. And you have sex in coffins. No, but
kind of.
I mean, a little bit. They look. Some of those look real plush on the inside. I'm sorry. What was
you said Electra complex. The mothers
yes,
being raised by moms.
So it's like very Freudian, like the Oedipal complex is that all women want to fuck their fathers. The opposite being all boys want to fuck their mothers eventually. And so it's just this like idea that we look for partners that are like our mothers.
Because they're all like from the same kind of culture.
Right.
In the beginning of the book when we were reading, and it was like, they all look alike.
Yeah. They looked alike in the way that people from the same place look alike. Sarah's picking it up.
Yeah.
She's picking up on it.
No, you're right. But yeah, very. So the other thing that happens in this is Rhys has worked for 500 years to keep this secret of Valeris. And Feyre enters the picture. She's like, we got to open it up. No more secrets. We got to not have secrets.
Well, but then when they actually get to the queens, she's like, actually, don't tell them.
Yes.
It's a really bad idea.
And then they show them the court of dreams, and then they're attacked by Hybern.
Like
and immediately. They keep it pretty consolidated, the fighting. But that's what I think Sarah J. Maas as well is like, her fighting is so fun. We see Feyre be a boss. I mean,
totally.
That's why we start with that passage. You're the one who encouraged me to start with that passage because it is her being so cool. And like, I love this fan art. I think it's like the Roki one where she is fighting the adder in the air. So good.
It's so good. And I was listening to the dramatized version by Graphic Audio, and that scene is just as thrilling, like listening to it. They do a good job with all the sounds in the background.
That's
but
cool.
Yeah, she like, and then she blocks out Rhys, and he's like, "You got it against me." And
I was kind of scared too when she blocked him out because I'm so used to Tamlin. Like I saw that Tamlin energy in me when I'm reading.
In your bones. Yeah, and I love that he's like, you should be proud. That's like really hard to do.
Yeah. He's like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Never block me out again. No.
Yeah. Don't ever do that again because I love you. But it was really cool.
It was really awesome. The other thing I love too is that there's no competition between the women and Feyre within the inner circle. Like,
Yeah.
you'd think there would be some territory feelings just based on our humanness, but
Sure.
they, like, as soon as she becomes, you know, Feyre High Lady, they bow to her. They say,
Mhm.
welcome to the family. They sort of
100%.
champion her success.
Which is also another kind of difference from the Spring Court and Ianthe. Ianthe is immediately like, okay, Feyre is one of my tools, and so I'm
Mhm.
going to like tell her what to do and where to go. And Feyre welcomes that because she's like, I'm barely functioning. Just tell me
Yeah.
what to do. And here, you know, in the Night Court, Mor and Amren expect her to know herself well enough
Yeah.
to know what's next.
And they're confident enough in themselves and who they
Mhm.
are and their place within this family, this circle, that they're not intimidated. They're excited to have her in the mix.
Yeah.
It feels like
Yeah.
finally take care of this like moody big baby.
Yeah, please.
So this is part 3, House of Mist. We also we'll have another episode about this, but we also see Nesta and Elaine's turning in the cauldron, a whole thing with
Yeah.
Hybern. And this makes Feyre have to save them, and Fake breaks the bond of the mating bond. They break sort of that whatever they had done under the
bargain.
The bargain.
Uh-huh.
And then she goes back to Tamalama Ding Dong at the end of this.
So infuriating. Do you remember what it felt like reading that for the first time?
I remember because I thought that the mating bond had broke.
Yeah.
And I thought initially that I was heartbroken.
Yeah. I remember weeping reading
Mhm.
this one for
I'm
sure.
so sorry for her to have to go back. I'm
Have to
like,
go back.
not only did she go out from under the mountain, but then we make her go to the prison twice. One
Yeah.
she can't even follow through with.
Yeah.
And now she finally leaves Tamlin. We're away from him, and we make her go back to
She
live
has to
under
go
that
back.
oppression. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that it's supposed to be like, she's stronger now, she's better, she knows herself, she's not going to fall victim to it. And she has a pretty fun heel turn in the next
I
book.
love that Amren's like, you, that's not just anyone, that's your mate. Go get her. She's not your spy.
Yeah,
Like, they fight for them. They're like, why would you let her go do that? And someone's like, you're telling me my high lady?
Right. Yeah, because that's what it is. Amren's like, what are we all doing here? Go get him.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, she's not just my mate. She's the high lady of the Night Court. And that's when Amren's like, so now you're telling me that my queen basically is in enemy lands and I'm just supposed to be okay with that.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Yeah, and it is really cool to see how quickly they recognize her as an equal to Rhys.
Yeah, so what I'd like to do to wrap this up is I want to play a little game called Before the Sex and After the Sex.
Okay. Okay.
What you're not seeing if you're listening in is I have a fun picture here of chapter 48 where she's getting fingered in the end.
Mhm.
And then chapter 55 where she's getting eaten out on the table covered in pain.
Yeah. Oh, brother.
And a shout out to the Court of Terrasen, the creator of that. What I want to do here, just at to end us.
The one on the bottom is Matt Schofield, who a lot of
Matt Schofield. Sorry,
a lot of,
yeah.
Art that both of us have picked is from that creator.
Yeah, big fan of Matt Schofield. Keep it up.
I love the way that Feyre's eyes look in this first one because she's like, she's deep in, or he's deep in it, I guess.
Like, sex faces are not always hot faces.
No.
Look how he's like choking her out right there.
But it's on the sides.
On the side, safe. Okay. So I want you to pick your top 2 moments before the sex and your top 2 moments after the sex.
Ooh.
Think about it quietly.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm gonna say 3, and we're gonna say the before the sex, one of them together. Okay.
Okay.
Like your top one before the sex.
Okay.
Do we need to recap it all?
I think I have a good. So there's a moment that I really love in the before the sex section where it's the second time that Feyre comes back to the Night Court and he's like trying to get her to banter with him, and it's just like too much of a shell to be able to do it. And she notices his eyes saying like, come on, please play with me. And I really love that moment. It's like really Rhys is like, it's not even that he is romantic, like I'm sure that's part of it too, but he's so concerned for her well-being.
He can see
he can see, and he can see her. He like sees and sees all of her and sees that she needs help.
Yeah, that's a big one. I think for me, I love the dinner party.
The dinner party is fun.
I love the dinner party in Valeris where she's like out on the town and she's like, I can be me again. And yeah. And I also like her realizing like that Amren drinks blood.
Oh yeah. I feel like Feyre at the dinner party is like the after section for like lorazepam ad or something, like an antidepressant, and it's like she's at dinner, she's having so much fun, her meds work.
That is right, yeah.
And like him trying to play with her is like the before. She's like shows up and she's so tired and she like doesn't want to eat and she's all like thin and frail, and then the after is dinner.
I love that is I liked after the sex. What do we like after the sex? After the show, after the sex,
after the sex,
after the dun, what's next?
After the sex, I think my favorite part. That's tough.
Mine is Nesta pointing at the king. I fucking love Nesta.
Yeah. The death promise.
Point. Yeah. We'll talk about that, but I like the sisters coming into action all of a sudden.
Yeah. That is a good moment. I think. Oh, my favorite moment post sex. I think it's when they all bow to her.
The bowing.
And they like fully accept her into the inner circle.
She's in the inner circle.
Because Rhys got into her inner circle.
Yeah, that's right. They're a family now. That's one final thought. They talk a lot about group sex and never deliver on it. There's one book where there's lots. Well, I'm sure there's more, but there's one where there's like a threesome. It's like a thruple. Yeah. But in this one, they always like hint at it, and I'm like,
that's something too that I was thinking about the other day. Is that like even the like male or female, they're all pretty open about like having sex with the same gender. They're like, whatever's clever, you know, like they follow pleasure without shame.
Yes. Really there's no shame in the pleasure. Yeah. And there's a lot of like, I don't want to hear it. Well, I don't want to like smell you when you're feeling excited, but like,
yeah,
I don't like, want go for it. Knowing. Yeah. They're always happy for each other that they're banging.
Yeah. I'm trying to eat.
All right. Well, that's all I have for today in terms of the narrative. I can't wait to dig in more on this book.
Me too.
Faerie Smut Book Club.
See you next time.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Faerie Smut Book Club.
As always, a special thank you to Improv Asylum and Asylum Productions for their support, Kayla Hutchins for music, and executive producer Bo Segrist from Modern Exhibits.
You can like, follow, and share clips from this episode on our Instagram and TikTok at Faerie Smut Book Club.
You can also email us your thoughts and theories over at fairiesmutbookclubpodcast@gmail.com.
Bye, Bianca.
Bye, Steph.